Okay, so here I am. I'm gonna do the 100-day practice challenge apparently, and I just decided that in the car on the way here. I want to do this because I think it would be a really unique way to push myself, and I don't think I've ever practiced 100 days in a row. And I think that it would be a really cool way to hold myself accountable. I'm up to the challenge. The crazy part is that it's December 1st, 2020, and this challenge won't get done until literally March. And that'll be a whole year since lockdown. And that is just unsettling on literally so many levels. Anyway, so yeah, here we go, day one. Alright, there we go. Alright, so hi, hello, my name is Rachel. Welcome back to my channel, and I am a musician from Minnesota, and today I'm going to be talking about the 100 Days of Practice Challenge. So it's pretty self-explanatory. Basically, you just practice your instrument for 100 days in a row. You record your practice. Some people do it differently, or there's different variations on it, but I just wanted to practice every day for 100 days and just see what I could do. So since I'm a pianist, I practiced piano for 100 days in a row. So this challenge took place over the course of 3.5 months. I started on December 1st, 2020, and I ended on March 10th, 2021. I don't think I ever realized how long 100 days is. So when I first started on day one, as you can see in the first part of this video, I was like, this video is gonna get done in March next year, and that's crazy. And yeah, it's a long time. 100 days is a long time. I keep a pretty detailed practice log. I keep it in this folder right here, and I added up all the numbers for the total time period of 100 days that I practiced, and I practiced a total of 27 hours in December 2020, a total of 19 hours in January, and a total of 15 hours in February, and then I practiced 7 hours between March 1st and 10th. So the total hours that I practiced during the challenge was 68 hours total, which this is a pretty good number. I was actually really proud of myself when I added all this up. I'll talk to you guys a little bit more about the pros and cons of the challenge moving forward. So some of the cons were that it is really hard to go away for a weekend. I am currently long distance with my boyfriend, and so we only get to really see each other on weekends, and if I was going up to see him, I had to lug my piano everywhere with me. I lugged this keyboard with me all across Minnesota, it feels like, and it's just annoying and it's heavy and it sucked. I was determined to do the challenge, so I'm really happy that I actually did it and went through with it and hauled the piano everywhere, but piano is just not a very transportable instrument. If I played flute, it would be so much easier because that's a super light, a very portable instrument. It's really difficult to do that with piano. That was probably my least favorite part of the challenge. It was hard because you just had to be in one spot for 100 days. It ended up being worth it, but it was still really annoying. So the next con is that there aren't really any off days. You can't just have a lazy day where you just watch Netflix or do whatever you want to chill out. You practice every day. But maybe someone wants to do a modified version of the challenge and they practice 100 days in a row, but then once a week they have an off day, and that's how they want to do the challenge. And I didn't really factor that in to my personal challenge, so I think that maybe I would have benefited from taking a day off every other week or something like that, but I did no off days, 100 days in a row of straight practice. If you're someone who really enjoys taking some time to yourself and you really like to have those like do nothing days, this would probably be really hard for you to do. But like I said, you could do a modified version and have a day off a week or something. So no off days, kind of a downside. So my next con is that it is hard to stay consistently inspired for that long of a time period. I think that because I'm just working and living my life right now, I'm not in school, I graduated last year, it was really difficult to constantly find pieces to work on. But if I was in school or if I was going to grad school for music, I would constantly have something to work on. Like when you're in music school, there's always something you can be practicing, and you have these lessons every single week, so it holds you accountable. But I didn't have that because I'm not in lessons, not in school, so I had to consistently find new material to work on and take on different pieces, and that is actually kind of hard. Like I feel like I'm a very creative person, and yet I still struggled to find things to work on at the piano all the time. So that was another downside for me. So another con is that you just lose motivation over time, and As I said earlier in the video, I practiced 27 hours in December of 2020, and that is a big number for me, but I was also super motivated in the beginning. And then in January, it was 19 hours, and then in February, 15 hours. And you know, you just lose motivation as it goes on, and that kind of ties into the whole it's hard to stay consistently creative con that I said earlier, which is another downside, but I'm still proud of the numbers. Like practicing 19 hours a month, even 15 hours a month, those are really good numbers, and I'm really proud of the work that I put in, but it's still difficult. Okay, so then I'll move to the pros of the challenge. Personally, I had never practiced this much in a given time period, I don't think ever, and it even was more of a win and more of a cool thing to accomplish because no one was telling me I had to do it. Decided on my own I wanted to do the 100 days of practice challenge. It didn't have anything to do with school or an assignment, I just wanted to do it, and that's actually a pretty good feeling to just self-motivate yourself to do something. So I was really proud of that aspect of the challenge. So another pro of the challenge for me was that I achieved some really cool goals during this time period. I was able to collaborate on a couple of holiday performance videos with Mailwood Stone Barn in Rochester. That was something that I had never done before, and that was really, really cool and really fun. My biggest thing though that I accomplished during this time period was I started to accompany in church. Playing or accompanying for church or mass, there's no glory in it, but what I will say is it makes you really consistent, and it teaches you how to work with vocalists. It teaches you how to just keep going, how to push out a lot of music in a given time frame. It teaches you really good sight reading skills. Those things are really hard to get good at, and I actually played Christmas Eve Mass at the church in my town, and I never thought that I would do something like that. I was always terrified to accompany in church. You always worry about people judging you. It's like live performance. If you're someone who has performance anxiety, that can be difficult to work with too. So yeah, there's a lot that goes into accompanying. I had never accompanied in church before this challenge, and because I had so much time and I had to practice every single day, I pushed myself to pick up all this music really quickly. So that was really, really cool, and I was super, super proud of myself. Another pro to this challenge, which ties into what I just talked about with the accompanying thing, is that you get paid for accompanying. So I made a little extra money on the side while I was doing the church gigs and playing masses and whatnot, and that's always really nice to get paid for your skills and to just make a little extra pocket change. So that was pretty cool too, and it just made me want to keep doing it more because I was getting better, but I was also getting paid for it. So the final pro that I want to talk about is that this challenge was a phenomenal exercise in discipline. I say that, and I think that that's a really important thing to talk about because motivation is not something that you should rely on. You are not always going to be motivated. That's just not possible. I mean, it's too much to ask of yourself to always be motivated to do something. So if you actually want to accomplish something and see a project through, you need to develop a really robust sense of self-discipline. And this was a really great exercise in that. I felt that because I was holding myself accountable more, I had to work practice into my schedule every single day. I was therefore training myself to get used to this idea that you sit down at the piano and you work at it every single day. And some days you don't want to do it because it's not fun, you're tired, work was crappy, whatever. But that's the point, is that nothing is gonna get done if you just wait for motivation. Motivation is unreliable. So a lot of things that are actually worth it take a ton of time and effort, and work are not things that come easily or can be accomplished just like that. Working to be more disciplined and to focus on projects longer is a real skill. I think that this challenge really pushed me in that way. So all of this being said, my final thoughts / main takeaway is that it is just not a super realistic thing for me to practice every single day. I think I learned a lot, and there was a lot to be gained from doing this challenge, but I used to feel bad about not doing music all the time because I was a music person and people consider me a music person, and I gotta always be really good at music and constantly doing music things. And I've just kind of realized that I get a lot of joy from doing other things besides music, and it's okay to not practice every single day. Like, I want to travel as much as I possibly can in my life. I want to explore and see the world, and that's something that I want to like work into my life more and more. And I want to keep filming and editing YouTube videos. I love it. It's a huge passion of mine. It brings me a lot of joy. I love working on my channel, and I also want to release original music that I've written for, I don't even know, I've been working on it for such a long time, but I want to release that music and share it with, you know, the world and put that out there because I'm super proud of my work, and I want to keep recording and keep writing my music in the future. But all of these things take time, and it takes time away that I could be practicing my instrument. And I've kind of learned and grown more and more okay with the fact that I'm gonna have to sacrifice some practice time in order to be able to do these other things. And that is okay. That's totally okay. I think that my main goal moving forward is that I always want to consistently be keeping my skills up. I want to keep accompanying. I want to challenge myself in my repertoire that I'm taking on. I want to post piano videos every now and then, and I don't think I'll ever stop doing those things. I really want to detach myself from this idea that in order to be a music person, whatever that means, that I need to do music all the time, because that's just not healthy for me. I want to obviously keep at music. I'm never gonna give it up. I always want it to be a part of my life and to keep working at it, but practicing every single day is just not realistic for me. Personally, I need a bit more balance in my life, and that's okay. Overall, I'm really happy that I did this challenge. I think it really pushed me. I think that I learned a lot, and it opened up a lot of possibilities for myself as a pianist, and it's always fun to hit a goal. So definitely proud of myself, definitely think that it's cool that I did the whole challenge, and yeah, I'm just proud of myself, and I've learned a lot. So what more could you ask for? So thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. It really helps out my channel. I appreciate it, and I will see you guys later. So bye.